welcome everybody. This is episode 7 of season 2 of the Top Shelf, a game where we go through a new tabletop RPG every episode. And I am your host, Mads, joined here with Cole Robbie for the episode. It's very hard to get him on, but I'm glad that I could bring him in for Dice Souls. It is a game that I've been so excited about. I pre-ordered it as soon as I saw how the physical copies are going to look. I'm stoked for this game. The mechanics are delightful, and it is directly inspired by Soulsborne content, which is super appropriate considering Elden Ring is the only conversation that I see on the internet right now. So we're going to send Cole Robbie through a Dice Souls run and see how well he fares. Cole Robbie, if you want to, or Cole, if you want to introduce yourself real quick, and then we'll get going.
All right, wonderful. Yes, Kohlrabi, so formal. You can call me Cole, Cole Bobby, Cole Baby, Cole Daddy, if you really want. Hi, I do things and stuff on the internet. I'm a GM at TPK, I guess, and player of sometimes things. Yeah, the Top Shelf is on Saturday nights, which I usually Saturday is for the girlfriend, as they say. That's the saying, right?
It should be. I think it should be.
Do you want me to say anything about my character now, or?
Yeah, go ahead and introduce your character, describe them for us, let us know what you built.
All right, wonderful. So tonight I will be playing Raspberry in honor of my current Elden Ring character. Raspberry, Minister of Nightmares, to be exact. I am a warrior that is carrying a rusted two-handed saw. Bloodborne is or was my favorite Souls game. It's really hard now that Elden Ring is out, so we'll see. And I'm probably, I'm just level 1. I'm probably just wearing some really gross looking scrubs of armor and whatever I could find. So I just look like a normal, ugly dude.
Are you the kind of person in Dice or Dark Souls or Elden Ring and stuff that will begin the game as a wretch and then or like the lowest tier, like level 1, and then work your way up?
I no, actually, if I'm playing, I don't think I've ever started with the hardest. What is it in Elden Ring? Is it the prisoner?
No, the prisoner is I think the prisoner's faith based or intelligence based, but they have some levels in them.
Oh yeah. So in Elden Ring I started warrior. So I was like, oh, we'll go warrior in Dice Souls. So I don't hate myself that much. So I guess if we're correlating it to how I usually play, then I would have some kind of armor and hopefully it looks cool, but probably not very cool, unfortunately.
It's got to be fairly basic, and you won't find your tailoring friend probably this session, so you won't be able to take your cape off.
What are you drinking, by the way? You forgot how to
I
do
am,
your own show.
and I drank it all before I even started. But I was having cran raspberry juice because I've got a heck of a headache today, so juice sounded like the good idea.
It sounded like a good idea. So I tried to get fancy, and I made it's watermelon Red Bull with Topo Chico and lime, as you can tell. So we'll throw the lime in there now.
There you go. Hell yeah. So, as a note to everybody watching, and I'll probably remind everybody of this, but I don't usually pitch the reaction board, but Dice Souls or Dark Souls, sorry, I'm gonna get that confused backwards so many times. Dark Souls and Elden Ring and Bloodborne and stuff is such a passively multiplayer game that I will put forward for the reaction table for donating bits into this session. 100 bits is healing back to Cole's character, much as though you have thumbsed up some of his obnoxious notes that he's inevitably going to put down somewhere. 500 bits can be beneficial to him. 1,000 bits is an invader interaction, which I have written a couple of, which could pop up inconveniently at any time. And if anybody wants to ever donate 2,000 bits, I will find something fun to do there. But I don't have anything particularly planned for that. But those are all available to you. Now, Dice Souls itself was written by Chris Bissett. I had him on last year, and we talked about a couple of things. He's phenomenal. He wrote the soundtrack for Orbital Blues, which we played last year. He also wrote The Wretched and Alone, so he's very, very familiar with solo role-playing games. Does really good things with those. This being one-on-one is one of my first interactions with something of that format. But we're going to see how it goes and see what happens. We're beginning everything with, and I'll read the description directly from here, from the documents that we have on the game, as it is still a work in progress. But the world is dead, and you stand upon its corpse. The restless dead wander its crumbling ruins, souls tied to purposeless bodies that refuse to settle. All they know is hunger, pain, cold, and violence. You, Cole, are one of them, but you possess something they don't: purpose and the flame. You bring peace to the dead, destroying their necrotic forms and swaddling their eternal souls in warmth as you transport them onward into the eternal slumber of true death. But rest is temporary, and your flame is only so strong. Each time you fall, the souls escape your grasp, returning to their bodies and cursing them to wander once more. Only when you escape this purgatory will the souls you gather be able to be truly free. Go, wander, kill and be killed, die and be reborn again and again in your flame until one day, perhaps, you will transcend the bounds of this place and finally shepherd the dead into another realm. Go. You begin the game in the crumbling village. Your starting area has a campsite present that you arise to. The crumbling village is a small abandoned village filled with houses and barren farmland. A dry riverbed cuts it in half. A ruined chapel on a hilltop overlooks the entire region. An inauspicious place for a hero to be born, but there is no telling yet whether or not you are a hero at all. This starting area is a small, tumble-down shack that smells like damp and rot. Ruined chunks of furniture are strewn across the ground, and rotting straw mattress is pushed against one corner. Thin beams of cold light filter through the gaps between the boards over the windows, picking out motes of dust floating in the air. A cold campfire has been built in the middle of the room. Now, with Dark Souls, one of the main premises that translates over into this game is that a lot of the lore you discover yourself. I have written none of the lore for this, as that is Cole's job as we pass through. This being your first area, Cole, whose house was this?
Oh, thinking in my own head, not necessarily asking Mads, because I guess it's up to me. Do I know this person? You know, I don't know this person. This house belonged to some kind of farmer or something. The crops all wilted and died, and so did the farmer. And the reason for that is it makes me feel better for what I need to do in here, which is, you described that the room has stuff in it, and we're playing a Souls game. So I'm absolutely going to pull out my rusted saw and break everything in the room.
Okay. You roll around and break everything present in the room with swings of this saw, and nothing to any benefit, unfortunately. Just scattered ruins of broken barrels and the tufts of fluff coming out of this rotten mattress. Probably a rat or two skitters off into the distance. There is a single way out of this room, and as you choose to venture forth, whenever you are ready, I need you to roll me a d6 plus 1. for the following area.
All right. I think I'm definitely ready. We gotta run head first out of here. Ooh, that is a 3 total.
Okay, so moving. So you leave this space and you wander into. My pen is dying. I need a new pen. Hold on. Fixed it.
Oh yeah, and then in this game, you call back to names that I come up with, right?
Correct.
All right. Well, this was Gary's farmhouse.
Okay.
That good old Gary, may he rest in peace.
All right. So you leave Gary's farmhouse and travel deeper through this crumbling village, about a block into the space of nothing but dark and cold, overcast, damp corridor before you reach the village square. Now, the village square is littered with broken cobbles and is slick with moisture. Dark, cracked windows stare down at you from the moldering buildings that ring the square. Above everything, the burned-out chapel on the top of the hill watches over the quiet buildings in a distance. As you progress into the center of the square, first thing to note is there are two skeletal figures walking, kind of pacing at a slow speed through this area, kind of circling the square.
Well, I mean, they're skeletons, so I mean, they're likely an enemy. So I, of course, sprint towards them with my trusty, rusted two-handed saw, and I'm going swinging.
Okay, so you barrel in, taking mad swipes as you do. Ever zealous about your adventure, go ahead and roll me your 2d6 starting dice, and let me know what you get.
All right. Aye, that is a 1 and a 3.
Okay, for anybody who has not read through Dice Souls, one, you should. It's great. But the game is a dice pool system in that every dice counts, and even a single failure that is still on the table after all of your rules that you have are applied, which we'll get into next time you rest at a bonfire. If even a single failure remains on the dice, which currently for Cole is a 1, 2, or a 3, that is a failed roll. You go in swinging and are not anticipating the speed and aggression of the skeletons that are meandering. One of them does a very quick back step from you, wielding the sickle that he's got in his hand. The other one with the pitchfork is going to close the gap that you had mistimed and take a lunge directly into your side with it. You will take 1 damage from that.
Wonderful. So that is one section I didn't think I had a question about until now. But on the health bar, it says you split it in 2. So how do I mark 1 damage?
Yeah, let me go back to that real quick. Where is your health bar listed? Let's see. I can't. Oh, my brain won't find the page for the health. I believe, if I am understanding this right, split in 2 means create a bar, cut it down the middle, but I could be wrong here.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay. So, immediately ticked down to half health then.
Wonderful. Interesting. Well, I've been playing Elden Ring, so I'm just getting used to, Dark Souls again, and I can't really remember the mechanics as well, so that's fine. We'll get the hang of it here.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. You taking another swipe?
Oh boy. Um Honestly, since I just got my ass kicked and I just started, I would probably start running around to a safe area.
Okay.
So, realizing these skeletons are more than just basic skeletons, I'm booking it.
Okay. So, are you heading back the way you did to touch base at your campfire again, or are you attempting to
Hmm.
uh, sequence break and jump forward into the next area?
You know, this is perfect. I ran out, wasn't used to it, got smacked, and yeah, I'll run back towards the fire and reset.
Okay. You rest at the campfire for a moment, gathering yourself before setting back off into the village square. Changing your approach, or are we going for swings again?
Yes, we got it. So my philosophy in any Souls game is I have to kill every enemy at least once, unless it's one of those enemies that has way too much health and it takes forever, and you just whack and whack and whack, and I don't care about those ones. So, swinging again on these skeletons.
Okay.
All right, come on now. That's a 1 and a 1. I'm gonna die, y'all.
Giving it another go. Once again, you have been ambushed by the speed of these chattering skeletons. This time, a sickle into your shoulder as it rolls out of the way of your large axe.
All right, I'm running forward. I'm fuck
Okay.
these skeletons. I'm like, I gotta see what's beyond the skeletons.
Okay. So, you choose to run forward, um, avoiding the skeletons. Go ahead and give me a d6 plus 2.
All right. Oh, that's an 8 total. 6 on the die.
An 8 total. Okay.
Yes.
Let me mark down your new area. Okay. So, you arrive at a covered walkway. It is a covered wooden bridge that juts out from the village high above the dry riverbed. 100 feet long from bank to bank. The planks are rotten and treacherous, and when the wind picks up, the broken boards groan and sigh in one long death rattle.
Wonderful. Well, I guess we're crossing the bridge because these skeletons are my bad luck, so I'm not going back yet.
Okay. So you trek across the bridge, and you can hear a number of the boards underneath you snap.
Of course.
Make a well. Tell me what you're doing actually first.
Well, I mean, I didn't do it before, so I gotta get in the right mindset. So I'm trying to catch myself, I guess, because what I should have done was check what's under the bridge first, but I didn't. So I'm just trying not to fall to my maybe death.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and give me a roll to avoid this trap.
All right, what kind of roll am I making?
It's so the entire game is going to be based off of the same thing. So it's going to be 2d6, hoping not for failures.
5 and a 1.
Okay. So, you... And I need to double check health at this point as well. But, you end up trying to just dash uh, out of the way and kind of leap to some kind of safety with your upper body. And the pieces in front of you give way as well. And you fall into a dry riverbed with enough height to kill you at the health that you are at right now.
Wonderful. I definitely already died. Yeehaw.
You return back to the first campsite at Gary's farmhouse.
Fucking Gary.
Now, you do know um, that the village square, from what you saw, had 2 exits. So there is another route that you were noticing that you chose not to take, or that you took one direction over the other. So you might travel that direction, but you are now familiar with a crumbly walkway and 2 skeletons.
Indeed. All right. Well, these skeletons are still my bad luck, so I'm going to try to head out the other way that I didn't take before.
Okay. So, you choose to sprint past the skeletons. Now, I need to double check here that areas, I think, typically shouldn't be, don't get skipped over until you've cleared them. However, that's not how I play Dice Souls. So, or not. That's not how I play Dark Souls. I'm very much the run type as well. But
Listen, I normally have the rule of killing enemies at least once before I start running past them if I have to come back. But these skeletons, I failed twice. So I gotta progress. I gotta find out what's in this world. I gotta keep going.
Okay. Sounds good. Considering we're skipping the village square, I won't ask you any lore on that space until we've cleared it and you can actually explore it. But give me another 1d6, this time plus 3.
All right. That is a 9. 6
That
on
is
the
a
die.
9. Okay. So, the 9 on our randomly generated crumbly village. Ooh, that's a good one.
I think my title that I rolled is very misleading currently. I am not being very much the Minister of Nightmares.
Okay. So, you end up at the desiccated grove. Small copse of trees that once might have been an oasis of greenery among these tightly packed buildings. Now it is dead and gray, a forest of twisted bones and creeping shadows. And at the center of this space, you actually notice there is a cold, unlit campfire present.
Wonderful. Now I can at least progress a little bit. So, I'm supposed to make the lore of what's going on, right?
When you leave a room.
When I leave
So
a room.
it's under my control until you've cleared it, and you don't know if it's cleared yet.
What is this place called, you said?
The Desiccated Grove.
Of course. Wonderful. All right. Well, I see the fire in the distance, correct?
The space is not particularly large. This is like a community garden almost in size. It's no smaller than the village square, but not much bigger. But it sits right in the center of the space.
Wonderful. Do I see anything lurking in the shadows or in the corners of my eyes or anything?
Good question. Out of the corner of your eye, if you look to the side of the entrance, that you come in from as the walls block your view on either direction. You don't necessarily see anything, but you are afeared enough or nervous enough about it to maybe not stick your head out until you've made a decision. But there is a large, snarling, heavy breathing coming from your right.
All right, well, we gotta try to do something. We gotta make some progress here. So I'm going to ready myself and run screaming to the right and fight whatever it is right there, and hope there's nothing on the other side, because you can't choose two sides at once.
It's true. So, as you rush in, you encounter an 8 feet tall mountain of fur and claws. The flesh of the face is melted away, revealing bubbled bones and grinding jaws as it rears up as you take a strike. Go ahead and give me a roll.
Oh,
As a note, because you did declare you are a warrior as well, if you roll a 6, because you have 2d6, that 6 will counteract a failure.
True. Well, I rolled a 2 and a 4.
Okay. So, the skull bear slams down before you are able to finish through your strike, and you take 1 damage from that.
All right, we're going again, swinging again.
Okay.
All right. A 1 and a 5.
1 and a 5. Okay. So, as a note to Dice Souls mechanics, then, the skull bear has killed you.
Mm-hmm.
But there are also every enemy in every area has a replay counter, narrating your progress and improvement, learning how to fight the thing. If you die to it or manage to kill it successfully, one of its replay portions of its replay counter clock fill. So, still progress, and we've returned you back to Gary's farmhouse.
Wonderful. Love it. All right. So, true Souls fashion, to keep myself entertained and not do the same thing over and over, I'm going to go run to the skeletons now and fight them.
Okay, sounds good. Go ahead and take some strikes for me.
All right, come on now. All right, there we go. That's a 5 and a 6.
5 and a 6. Okay. So, take a strike. We've got 2 here. Are you going after the sickle skeleton or the one with the pitchfork? Just so I can mark things.
Oh, definitely start with the one on the pitchfork first. It seems like it might have more reach, so...
Okay.
Even though mechanically in the game that doesn't matter, but still. Narratively.
It's narratively fun. Whole thing's about storytelling. All right, go ahead. So, you've taken a strike, and you've managed to back up from these skeletons this time. Tell me how you are bearing into this.
Yeah, I'm just freaking... I'm going aggro with my rusted two-handed saw, and I'm hopefully attacking and killing both of them until or before they even hit me. So, I ain't got a shield. I'm just swinging.
Okay.
So, I gotta go again, right?
Yep.
2 and a 1.
2 and a 1. Okay. So, you've got good bearing on the individual with the pitchfork, but the sickle comes in with a number of mad swipes, and you take a gash across the back for 1 damage.
All right. Here we go again. Swinging again. A 1 and a 1.
Oh, no. Okay. So, you've taken another damage. As still getting used to the game, you turn around to attack the individual with the sickle, and the man with the pitchfork runs it right through you. But
Wonderful.
That is one more, or one
now they
tick
have
against
replay.
the replay.
Yeah.
for these individuals. Now, this is not uniform for the enemy group as a whole. This is per
Hmm.
enemy.
Yep. Wonderful. All right. Well, keeping it fresh as always. I come back. I have not gained a single soul. I'm running back towards the freaking bear or whatever, running that way.
Okay. I am going to pause real quick and just be sure that we have decided that you're. Yeah, draw a line through your health bar so that it is divided into 2 segments. That is absolutely correct.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm not shocked though. This is Soulsborne. So
Yep. And I'm also just rolling really terrible because
yep,
all it would take was rolling a 6 or anything higher than a 3, and I would succeed each time.
consistently. Yeah.
But I'm not. All right, so running back, I know where the whatever scary skeleton wolf melting flesh thing turn the corner to the right and try to get the jump on it.
Okay.
A 1 and a 1.
You try to get the jump on him, and your hesitation walking in initially actually didn't let you realize that this thing paces that side of the wall, and you jump in, miss the distance, and it turns and rushes you, taking a damage.
Wonderful. All right, here we go, swinging again.
Okay.
3 and a 5. Wait. That's actually a success because it has 1 replay counter on it, right? So I remove 1 failure. That's how that works.
Let me double check, but I believe so. Let's go to enemies combat replay. Yes. When you fight an enemy, you can negate 1 fail result during the combat for each mark against that enemy's replay. So that
Wonderful.
is, we're calling that one a success then. And you have dealt, it's 1 damage for you, right? Starting off.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's all you do at the start. And I need to do it again, right?
Yep.
All right. Literally have so many chances. Come on. All right, there we go. A 6 and a 2. 2 doesn't matter in 2 different cases, so there's another damage to it.
Okay. 2 damage dealt. The skull bear rears up to rush you across the map. Are we taking more swings?
Is it still alive?
It is still alive. This
God.
thing, actually, you know, because you can, if we're playing this in Dark Souls fashion, you watch that health bar the whole time. You're about a third of the way through it.
Wonderful. All right, we can do this. 1 more swing. We gotta kill something. It's been literally 20 minutes. I die. It's a 2 and a 3.
That's why you don't try to heavy swing while something is sprinting at you.
Yep.
As you get tackled and outed by this massive mound of meat and muscle. That is a second tick to its replay counter.
Wonderful.
And once again, Gary's farmhouse has become your home.
Oh, Gary. You sad bastard. All right, we're running back towards the bear thing. Going to attack it again.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. All right, chat. You're just watching me die over and over again. They're not even helping me. What the heck?
Isn't that how most Dark Souls actual plays go? Or live streams?
Yeah, as someone who's streamed Dark Souls 1, 3, and is now streaming Elden Ring, more often the chat actually hurts you than helps you. So, very, very good. That was a 6 and a 5, though. So that.
Okay. Very good. So, we're back to a 1/6 of its health gone as you take a preemptive strike.
All right, here we go again. All right. That's a 5 and a 1. So, I'm good.
Okay. Are you
Damage it
negating
again.
negating 1
because
failure,
it
taking a
has-
damage? Okay.
All
A
right.
third of its health gone.
All right, that's a 2 and a 2.
Okay. So 1 damage to you there then.
Mm-hmm. All right. Come on now. All right. 5 and a 1, so still good.
Negating. Okay, we're half health for the big beast.
Ay, ay, ay. 3 and a 4. Barely made it.
Wait, a 3 and a 4?
Yeah, because the 4 succeeds and we negate 1 failure for the replay counter, right?
Didn't you roll a 5 and a 1 just prior?
Oh, do the
That
replay
was.
counters get used up?
Yep. So
Fuck.
you're. That was your 2. You got 1 at the beginning and then 1 for that 5 and a 1.
Oh, that is cool. That does make sense.
Yeah.
But
Gradual learning improvement as you go.
I'm dead again. How many rooms and areas did you plan, Mads?
So we're just going through the first area. I want to see if you can actually get to the boss.
Okay, cool. All right, I was gonna say you might have planned too much. I might not make it past these enemies right here.
Nope. Glory be, I actually I didn't plan. I didn't have to plan anything for this session.
That's true. That's
So
true.
yeah, Chris, when he is writing Dice Souls, he's got the player materials and stuff available on itch, and then he's got 2 of the 6 regions that are going to be in the game, or areas in this case, and this, or no, it is regions. Each different section is an area, but you have gone through a number of the areas of this village so far, but we're just focusing on the village, and because
Mhm.
everything's random. To create this, I built it in about 5 minutes before we played, and it's delightfully simple to run, which is good.
Wonderful. All right,
Unfortunately, you're dead again.
good old Gary's. So I'm flip flopping back and forth. This bear is like fucking the tree sentinel when you come right out of the start.
Yeah, it
and
is.
you're not supposed to fight him. So I'm going back towards my skeletons, and the one with a pitchfork, or no, the one with a sickle has 1 replay, right?
The one with the pitchfork has 1 replay, because that's the one that
Okay.
killed you.
Okay, cool. So I'm attacking the pitchfork first.
Okay.
All right, here we go. All right, a 1 and a 5. So I've already used the replay.
You've used your 1 replay, but you've dealt the damage to the individual instead of taking the hit.
All right, here we go
Yeah.
again. Please give me at least 1 6. Come on. Yeah, a 3 and a 6.
Okay.
So since I'm the warrior, negates the failure. 2 hits on the pitchfork boy.
Okay, that's 2 hits on the pitchfork boy. The skeleton with the pitchfork scatters into pieces. That is 2 marks on your soul track.
Nice. I hit it again, so it doesn't come back.
Narratively, I want you to establish. I'm going to ask now. If you don't call that every time, is it canon that we're bringing him back?
Sure.
Okay.
If I get too focused on something and I don't hit the skeleton while it's a pile of bones, you can bring it back.
Okay.
But now I have to deal with this other one that I have no replay on.
Yep. And that did add another replay to the pitchfork skeleton since you've defeated it.
Wonderful. All right. Oh, all right. 4 and a 1, so I just took 1 damage.
Okay, you've taken 1 damage.
All right. I'm strafing and I'm thinking on the fly. What does it take for me to level up?
So the easiest level ups in the game, or the notes that would help you for that, are, let's see, I believe 2 soul dice was the lowest that I saw value-wise, which is
so-
12 marks. You got 2.
12 marks. Son of a gun.
Yeah, you
Okay.
definitely started out with some levels in your character, otherwise that would have been lower.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Tell you what,
Well,
if the chat decides to at any point donate donate that 2,000 bits, I will just roll a D8 worth of soul dice to give you as some terrible thing falls off a cliff in the distance off screen.
There we go. All right. Whatever. All right, let's kill this other skeleton.
Are you still going for it?
Yeah, I have to.
Okay.
And I'm dead. A 3 and a 2. There goes my
Okay.
souls.
One replay token on the sickle skeleton. The pitchfork skeleton, as a note to you now, because its resilience or its replay matches its health quantity. Or no, sorry, the replay tally matches its replay value. Sorry, you can skip that skeleton and just narrate its death to clean it out of the way now, but you do not earn soul from that.
Oh, of course. Makes sense.
Yeah, so you can work your way through them, but you eventually outlevel the area if you just want to skip past stuff.
Yeah.
And you got one replay mark on the sickle skelly, and back to Gary's farmhouse we go.
Erase my soul track.
I'm just really waiting for you to get to the skeletons, kill both skeletons. You've got all 4 of your soul, and somebody to drop like 1,000 bits right there.
Invade.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's go back to the skeletons. I'm gonna have to fight both of them because I want the souls. So we're gonna attack Pitchfork first. It has 1 replay.
It's got 2 replay.
Oh. All right. Well, I'm using one of them.
Okay. All right.
And roll again.
Now, as a note there, was it a success and a failure then?
No, it was a 3 and a 1.
Okay, so if you want to count it against that, you would have to use both to negate that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Or you take the damage. Okay.
No, I can't take damage yet. All right. The next one's a success, though. It's a 4 and a 4.
Okay, so 1 damage against Pitchfork Man.
So that should be 2 damage, right? 2 rolls.
Yes, 2 rolls. One of them was a 4 success.
Yes.
But yep, that'll kill Pitchfork Boy.
HP. You put a question. You didn't put what player you wanted to -2, so I don't know if we can count it. All right. Here we go for trying to kill Sickle. Which is a 1 and a 4, which would be a 1 and a 2. And it only has 1 replay, so I take 1 damage, right?
Okay, yep. You take 1 damage, and you have literally just declared it, and then forgot about it. The Pitchfork Man is back up.
No, I did. See, I told you I would get distracted.
Thanks, last HP. That was definitely
perfect,
your
though.
redeeming there that caused that.
It
Somebody
was
flashed.
100%.
Yes, somebody flashed back to the clip where he's like, "Yeah, I live stream Dark Souls, and a lot of the times the chat is more harmful than helpful."
Yep. All right. Well, let's keep going on Sickle guy. I have an uphill battle here. Yeah, I'm dead again.
Okay,
Oh
out
boy.
we go and back to the farmhouse.
All right. HP, this runs for you. Hey, thank you, corn dog.
I'll allow the. I'm not gonna give you -2s because arbitrarily they don't seem to make personal sense to me. But if I could use them to distract you, I will. But I will give you the +2 on one of those. So.
Yeah. All right, we're running back towards the skeletons, starting with Pitchfork. Okay, so that's going to be 1 failure. What would Pitchfork technically have now?
So Pitchfork didn't. That's a good question. Does the replay go higher than its replay counter?
Yeah.
Let me check.
Listen, no one's failed Dice Souls this much. I'm notoriously bad luck with dice. Anyone who's played with me knows this, so. Mads never knew that he invited the worst person to roll Dice Souls.
Yeah, it doesn't specifically designate. I'll give Pitchfork Man another one. Because
Awesome.
I want you to get to the boss at least.
Yeah. All right, cool. So here we go again.
So was the last one damage, or what did you negate for that? I can't recall.
It was I had to negate one of the replays so that I didn't take damage.
So one of them was gone, but you dealt damage to it. Perfect.
Yep. And this one is a success. I rolled a 6 and a 3, so it negates my failure.
All right, pitchforks out.
All right, swinging on it, it's bones, so it doesn't get back up.
Okay.
All right, sickle boy, here we go. Hey, that's a 5 and a 4.
Okay.
Success.
Very good. That's your first real success this game without having to negate something.
Sure, basically. All right, sickle boy, you out of here. All right, a 4 and a 2.
4 and a 2. Negate one of those replays. That puts you at 2 damage. So, both of the skeletons are dead.
I smacked the sickle one real quick.
Good.
All right, how many souls is that for both of them?
Okay, so that's 4 points towards your soul track. And then for the town square, or the village square. You've been through here so many times. I'm gonna ask you a couple. Let's go. We're gonna start with a river ran through this village once, but it's dry and dead like everything else here. What was it called?
Well, it was called the Snake River, of course.
Okay. And let's see. A statue in the middle of the square has been desecrated. Who did it used to show, and what was their significance?
Were they... I'll have you decide this part. Were they a good person or a bad person? What is the statue? What vibes are the statue giving off?
The connotation of that very much changes the question. Yeah, I don't like people shitting on good people, so we're gonna make them a bad person.
Okay. Yeah, their name was Dane the Terrible. They're probably part of the reason that this place has gone so downhill.
Okay. All right. So, now that you've had a moment to explore the area and gather your bearings, learning a little bit more about the beautiful artwork that went into the crafting of this area, what are you up to now?
Okay, so I think I need to read real quick again what I can do with souls. Following upgrades can be purchased at campsites. Let's see. Where does it say how much soul dice cost, though?
So it is related to the size of your damage dice right now. So if you start with a d6, your soul track is 6 marks. Which also means if you choose to improve the size of your die, your soul track goes up and everything costs more.
Wonderful. So right now I only have 4 marks, correct?
4 marks, yep, to receive a die.
Mm, all right. Let's just keep going forward. Oh, forward beyond the skeletons is the bridge, isn't it?
There's either the covered walkway or the desecrated grove. Desiccated grove.
Uh, all right. You know what? Since we're already somewhat breaking Dice Souls rules, I'm going to pull a Dark Souls moment and I'm going to run straight to the desiccated grove and I'm going to touch the bonfire before the bear thing attacks me.
Okay. Um, you go to touch the bonfire and uh, you receive a message um, that reads as you can hear the bears charging on you behind you. Um, uh, this bonfire's been unlit for too long for a flame of your brightness alone to ignite it.
Oh shit. Well, then I'm running forward past it. I'm not fighting that bear thing yet.
Okay, you sprint past the bear, um, and barrel through into. You have. Nah, if you. So the official rules of Dice Souls say when you complete an area, you roll the d6 plus my map chunks here to determine what the next areas are, and then you can pick either way. But if you're sprinting through, I just want one roll. We're going to do a d6 plus 4.
All right. That'll be a 10.
It'll be a 10.
Every time, like 3 times out of 4 that I've rolled for this, I've rolled a 6. But whenever I attack, I can't roll 6s.
Okay. So you sprint down from the desiccated grove and across the dried up Snake River, eventually making it to the collapsed chapel. The chapel can be seen from every point in the village. Up close, it looks bigger, more imposing. The roof is caved in and the bell towers collapsed a century ago, but the heavy iron doors still stand.
All right.
These doors are currently closed.
The type of closed that they won't open by some weird contraption?
No. I just mean you're going to have to make the effort to go push them open first.
All right. Well, while I'm looking upon this scene, I'm going to look around everywhere. Do I see anything else of note shining or standing out?
Hell. Well, let's see. Go ahead and give me a just a 2d6 straight roll as per the mechanic.
3 and a 1.
God damn it. Okay. You do on a corpse at the base of the Snake River, or the corpse on the shore of the Snake River, a little further down, on the opposite side of this covered bridge. There is a small glow coming from the center of the corpse. However, there are 2 wild dogs currently circling this corpse.
All right. Well, unfortunately, this is Dice Souls and not Dice Ring. So churches probably aren't that great, but we're going to go and try to open those heavy doors and see what's inside.
Okay. Just a moment. I need to mark down that riverbed item so you can get back to it should you need to. Okay. So, you push open the doors, and amongst the debris of the collapsed ceiling, which has all but been flattened out over time, as well as just kind of crumbled to ash, some portions of pews scattered to each side, turning to you at the sound of the doors opening is a knight. And let me see here. Where did you go? There we are. Is there flesh inside that cage of armor, or is it just metal given to life by some eldritch magic? We will have to find out, but regardless, it charges slowly, but assuredly towards you with its greatsword.
Wonderful. Am I hearing boss music right now?
Nope.
Oh, interesting. I still hate knights.
Yeah, we all do.
Well, since your character never talks in these games, you can imagine that the look on my face says, sorry for bothering you. I'm just gonna leave. And I step back out through the doors and run. Let's get down to that shiny item. Do I have a safe path of going down there?
You have a safe path to get to it. I've added it as just a new area point on the map for this secret. But these dogs, it does not take you very far before the dogs catch wind of your scent and aggro towards you.
That's fine. I used a bunch of stuff last time. I haven't taken damage, so we're gonna go fight the two dogs.
Okay.
All right. Running at them with my handy rusted saw. All right. Wonderful. That's a 3 and a 1.
Okay.
So, there's 1 damage.
That is. I haven't even told you how much damage they do yet.
They better only do 1. They're dogs.
Yeah, they only do 1. You're fine.
You trying to kill me again? Where's this counter? Let's see. We gotta get the death counter going here. Just kidding. Wonderful. A 6 and a 2. So the 2 is negated.
Okay, perfect. So you strike into one, and the dog collapses to the ground, dead. That is 1 more tick against your souls. You're 5 out of 6.
Here we go. Big money, no whammies. Hey, a 6 and a 3. So the 3 is negated.
Very nice. You deftly dodge out of the way of this other dog, and they go down as well, skittering to the earth in their own viscera.
Wonderful. Now I have 6 soul tracks.
Yep. So now, your soul track resets back to 0, and you add a d6 to your pool.
Wonderful. All right, let me just write that. Okay, let's pick up this item. What we got?
It is a burnable soul die. Consumable at your leisure.
Wonderful.
Gotta give you some runes somewhere.
Yes. What shape does this item take? Do you want me to tell you, or do you want to tell me?
Yes, please. Describe me what a single. Let's see. What do we call them? Call these items?
Yeah. So we're gonna assume that I have to eat it or something, right?
Yeah, or
eat
break
it
it in your
or
hand
drink it or
something.
Yeah. What did the body look like?
The body itself
Yes.
looks like an very old version of the knight in the current chapel. This is ruined armor, rusted and rotted away from its time in the riverbed, and it sits kind of caved in on itself.
Wonderful. I have obtained the knight's pancreas.
Perfect.
I love a good knight's pancreas. Gives me all the power that I could need. Okay. So, since I filled the soul track, do I need to worry about going back to a bonfire to do stuff? Or
If
do I
you
just...
die, you still lose that soul die.
All right, so you know what we're doing now, right? We're running all the way back to
Run.
Gary's farmhouse.
Okay. So you sprint all the way back to Gary's farmhouse. No, I'm not going to be that mean. I'll let you get back there. Okay. Like, the bear ambushes you. Roll. No. So, you get back to Gary's farmhouse. And are you consuming that so you can upgrade yourself?
Yeah, so... I think technically I really only have, if I eat the knight's pancreas and I have the one extra soul die currently, really I only have 2 soul die to spend. That sounds correct, right?
Correct. Yep.
So really the best use of that is to go up to 2 damage. So
Okay. All right. So you burn your 2 soul dice in the fires of this campfire, and as they immolate, you are bolstered in the strength of your weapon and your resolve, and you now deal 2 damage anytime you succeed.
You know what just happened?
Huh.
I made that decision, and then right after I made it, I went back and read something else that I could do, and I was like, fuck, I already spent the souls. Because what I should have done is upgraded my health.
That is so Dark Souls it hurts.
All right. All right. Now that we've done that, at least. Oh, I really fucking hate knights. But you know what? We're running straight back to the knight. Avoiding anything else, and we're gonna go see how tough this knight is.
Okay, so I was playing it easy on the direction of all of this, according to how the rules are supposed to function. You've accomplished all of your replay necessary to just run past the skeletons, but in order to get to that bridge, or in order to get to that chapel, you will either have to kill the skull bear this time, or at least try and avoid it, or brave that walkway, because neither of those have reached their limits yet.
Oh, boy, what do I feel like my luck is gonna give me? You know what? Let's just kill the bear. Let's kill it.
Okay.
Or get more replays on it for now. It has 1 replay, right?
It's got 2.
Oh, wonderful. Even better.
Yeah, it's killed you
All
twice.
right. Wonderful. Let's go kill this bear. All right. That's a 4 and a 3.
Okay, are you negating for...
Yep.
Okay, 2 damage dealt.
Yes. All right, here we go again. It's a 3 and a 1.
Okay. Let me just double check the enemy here. Okay, so you have taken. Oh, there's a special note on this animal. Okay, so 1 damage to that.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. That's a 5 and a 2.
Okay. As you go to take a strike, and the bear looks like it's going to lunge for you, this bear leans down and instead interrupts your strike, grabbing you and pulling you off the ground and just crushing you.
Yep. Wonderful.
And once again, you have returned to Gary's farmhouse. It's also been about an hour 15 since we have began, so we are going to stop here for a moment, take a brief intermission, and I'll leave it to the chat, because this is the typical pacing, but considering we are doing this as a one-shot, if you don't think Cole can actually make it all the way through it in this one session, go ahead and let me know, and maybe I'll give him some soul dice to play with so that he's a little bit more bumped up by the time we get back. But we'll see you in just a second. Thanks for watching. Welcome back, everybody. We are playing Dice Souls on the Top Shelf, and Cole is, or rather, I should call him by his name in this game, Raspberry, Minister of Nightmares, is kind of getting his ass handed to him a little bit, and we have provided him some form of peace along this journey. So, this time, as you arise from your campsite at Gary's farmhouse, there is a couple questions I want to ask. The first is, at the base of this riverbed, I marked it as a new area, but I didn't ask you any lore. What caused the droughts and the riverbed to dry up? What changed around here?
All right, you remember the statue of that really awful person named Dane?
Mm-hmm. The terrible person.
Yeah. Yes, Dane the Terrible. You see, what Dane the Terrible did when he took over this area is he diverted the river to all the upper class houses. Little did he know that this made the water travel further and have to go uphill, and it destroyed the local ecosystem and the route of the water to where it just dried up. It wasn't flowing enough.
And so everybody ended up suffering by the end of it all.
Yep.
Okay. As you arise in Gary's farmhouse, on the door that exits this farmhouse, you see a dagger nailing a scroll with glowing gold inscription and a stamp at the base of it along the side of the doorway as it hangs from the post, offering you aid.
It's a trick. I don't take it.
All right.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You can do what you want. That's your choice.
All right. What is this aid that it is offering?
It is a note from a fellow Reborn, and it is inscribed as Mads the Mercurial.
What does it say?
Consider it a summon sign.
Oh, you giving me some spirit ashes?
I am.
Wonderful. So I put this in my pocket, and how do I use this?
Okay. So it can be activated once per run. I have the stats of Mads right here, but you can use it once per run, and they exist in the specific area that they are summoned into, but it doesn't require anything to summon into.
All right. Wonderful. I put that in my pocket for now, and run my way back to this bear that's kicked my ass a couple times.
Okay.
All right, swinging on the bear. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's a 4 and a 3.
4 and a 3. We negating anything? Oh yeah, the bear killed you
Yes.
last time, so that's another
Yep.
mark to the replay. Okay,
Yep.
2 damage dealt to the bear.
Oh, thank you, Lassie. All right. That would be a 5 and a 4.
Including that +2.
Yes. So that
Okay.
is a full success. Yes.
Yes, it is. You are laying waste to this bear, having gotten up and stretched your legs and blown off some steam.
I just had a full bladder. Here we go again. That's a 1 and a 6. My
Okay.
6 negates the 1. So there we go again.
That is 6 damage in total as this bear falls dead. One more to
Yeah.
its replay value, or its replay counter. And that also means that this room is now clear for questioning. Let me get to the desecrated grove here. Let's see. What are the symbols that hang from the branches of these dead trees?
What are the symbols?
Or maybe what do they mean? What significance do they have? You interpret as you like.
Oh, okay. Well, this was a last attempt by local mages or whatever druids you want to call them, to revitalize the desecrated grove, but seems like it was too little, too late.
Okay. Sounds good. As a note to that, too, as you are reading all of the signs and notes on these um, sigils hanging from these branches, um, you find a through line amongst them that uh, regenerating this area and is requires the relighting of these campfires, but they can only be relit from the previous. And there are no fires left, at least as of the time that these sigils were written.
Hmm. Okay. So all right. What am I doing?
What are you doing? In front of you sits the path to the collapsed chapel. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
as well, just beyond that, the riverbed. Whether or not you've explored beyond that is well, actually hasn't been, but you don't know if there's anything beyond that. We've got a knight in front of you, and then there's also the covered walkway that sits unexplored. Oh, and I should also actually reward you for
Oh yeah,
the
how
bear there. That
yes.
is, let's see, 4 soul.
Wonderful. I love it. All right. We're just we're got to make progress. We're heading towards the night.
Okay.
We can come back and do other things, maybe, possibly. But going back through the doors, what is this knight wielding? What does this knight look like?
Uh, think of the original area Dark Souls Black Knight. This is full plate, head obscured, great sword, currently being held in one hand as it approaches you.
Oh, I hate these bastards. Crack my neck. Let's get going with my rusty two-handed saw. You know what? Just to have some fun, let's summon Mads for this fight.
Okay. The you employ the use of this offer poster, and they apparate into the space next to you, wielding a katana, two-handing it at the ready, waiting on you
Go
to
ahead
mark.
and go ahead and do the point emote.
Right.
and
Okay.
run towards the knight. All right, you
Sounds good.
ready? This one's gonna be tough because I haven't fought it yet. So here we go. All right. Woo, a 5 and a 4, so 2 damage.
Okay. 2 damage from you, whereas Mads runs in and goes to take a strike, and ends up. He just about misses, but you watch him swipe the blade across his arm and take damage from his own roll to negate a failure, and he's going to deal damage as well.
Wonderful. Okay. Here we go again, swinging again.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. That's a 2 and a 1.
2 and a 1. Okay.
Yep.
So, that's that is a 2 and a 2 from Mads as well. So you both run in, get a little bit too close, and don't watch the wind-up of a massive circular swing by this greatsword, and you both take 2 damage and are out for the count.
Wonderful.
Returning once again to Gary's farmhouse.
Beautiful.
But...
and I just lost my 4 souls.
Oh, damn, you did.
Come on, Mads.
Like, I didn't say my dice were any better than yours.
All right, you know what? We haven't tried in a little bit. Okay. This is we pop back into Gary's farm. We're going to try. All right. We're pulling out the dice vault. Champagne dice. All right. Actually, my champagne dice aren't in here. Damn it. I've already been using. Let me see. Listen, I'm not a superstitious person, but I mean, well, let's switch to some metal dice. Let's try it. Okay. So I am going to run towards the skeletons and fight them.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here. Let's attack pitchfork first. All right. Awesome. That's a 6 and a 1, so the 1 is negated. So 2 damage.
2 damage. Okay. That skeleton is down for the count.
All right. Smack it again. And then turn to the sickle. Oh, you kidding me? All right. That's a 2 and a 2. How many replays does the sickle have?
Sickle's got 3. So you're good.
All right. Come on now. It's a 3 and a 2.
Okay. One damage to you then.
All right. Here we go. I'm dead. All right.
Wait, what did you roll?
A 4 and a 2.
Okay, so it's got one lost still. One replay left, so we can negate that too. That'll actually kill the sickle.
All right, frick. All right, kill them both. All right. Do either of those give souls still, or what? How does that work?
Yeah, still 4 ticks worth of souls.
All right, beautiful. Let's do that back. All right, now that we killed them, we are going to run to the covered the
covered walkway.
Yes.
Okay.
That's where we're going.
Okay. So you are familiar with the sounds of this bridge starting to crack and break underneath you.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what we're doing.
I am trying to get through this and avoid the cracks, whether that is I have to run and jump before it gives away, or I have to just specifically avoid where it's already fallen. I'm just trying to parkour through this thing.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna have you roll against it. Your response was close enough, but not quite right or
Mm.
specific enough in the telegraphing. So you are allowed to negate one failure if one comes up, but otherwise you end up with the results.
All right. Oh, well, that's a 1 and a 1.
Okay. So you crash through the floor once again, um, mistiming the attempt to jump over the boards, but paying attention to the sides of the walkway, or the covered walkway still being intact, and only the center falling out as you break through. Once again, returning to Gary's farmhouse.
Yep. Wonderful. All right. We're gonna replay the same thing because I want those souls back as well. Um, so we're gonna run back towards the skeletons.
Okay.
Pitchfork. We're gonna hit. Awesome. That's a 5 and a 4, so
Okay.
2 damage.
Dead.
Whack the pile of bones. Sickle. Here we go. All right, that's a 5 and a 3. So one replay ticked
Okay.
and 2 damage.
Sickle dead.
All right.
So
Whack the pile of bones. Okay. We're going towards this path. So we go to the path and we are, I guess, looking out for the sound cue and avoiding the creaky boards, and then of course stepping over any that are remaining that have already fallen through. I don't know what else to do.
yeah. So, um, I'll allow that for the sake of the two deaths here. I think you've succeeded at this point. So the whole area resets, obviously. So the exact area in which this all starts to break, you're getting more familiar with, but it always looks the
Hmm.
same. And as you return to this spot, you sidestep the boards that begin to cave in on themselves, and instead of taking another step forward, you manage to avoid and take a step to the side as the center of the floor falls in, leaving you to basically shimmy across the side of this walkway and continue on. Um, Now, for the sake of expeditiousness, and that there are only so many sections in a map, I have laid out the other two pieces of the map that are remaining. In front of you, beyond this bridge, is a small cottage, is the color of old bone, and unlike the rest of the buildings in the village, it remains in one piece, looking almost as new as the day it was built. The door swings idly in the breeze, inviting you in. Um, as an additional question present, um, before we proceed to what you're doing there, um, from here you can see a side of the chapel on that bridge as you walk across to the other side. You can see a side of the chapel that's not visible from the rest of the village. Um, what is strange about it?
Side of the chapel.
Side of the chapel.
Oh, there is a very weird type of bright red vine growing on the side of the chapel. But what's even stranger is it's forming in a specific symbol. And it's like a circle with an upside down like pitchfork type thing in it. Um, and it's a menacing symbol. Just imagine a menacing symbol. That's what it is.
Okay.
But it's weird that this red vine grows into a specific symbol.
Okay. So as you cross over the bridge, whatever occult powers that be or natural phenomenon that is creating this sigil on the side of the chapel may have some significance further on. But in front of you stands this bone-colored, well-kept house with the door fluttering open, and there is another direction further off into the distance that leads you to what looks like a watchtower. And there is an alleyway that extends behind or off to the side of the house.
Well,
As far as and these are all different areas, so
yeah. Let's check inside the house. Peeking around the inside of the door, looking for anything that might jump out and hurt me.
okay. So you peek into the house itself, and let's see. At the back of the main room of this cottage, there is a small stone altar that holds a yellowing skull. You also can see, facing this this altar, but beginning to turn, is an individual that erupts from you a wave of blistering heat. You feel it even before you see it, and the creature, as it turns to you in its form, its flesh is so bright you can barely look directly at it.
I'm guessing this is not anything friendly.
No, and it begins to. If you enter the house, it may change, but as of currently, it has just turned to look at you. If you're just peering into the house, humanoid in form.
All right. Well. Close the door slowly, and I'm gonna run towards the alley. We'll come back to you.
All right. As you go towards the back alley, let me see here. Let me grab the notes for it. As you travel around it, this building does kind of adjacently coalesce back into the main section of the city, and these alleys twist and turn between the husks of buildings, winding cobbled paths with sharp corners that could be hiding anything. Rooftops close in, blocking out the sky and the view of the chapel above the village. It's deathly quiet. The way ahead is blocked by barrels and timber leaning against the walls of a building. And, let's see, what are you up to?
Well, I'm in the part of where I'm running around trying to find my next move. So, if I scan the area, do I see any enemies lurking about, or do I see none of them?
You don't. It's a dead end, feasibly. Quiet and devoid of creatures.
But all that stands in my way are some barrels.
Barrels and timber leaning against the walls of a building.
Well, let's break the barrels. Why not?
Okay. So you go to break the barrels, and one of these pieces of timber falls to the side. And you can see the brick on the side of one of these walls crumbles enough that the supporting structure on that wall gives way, and that wall begins to lean and fall towards you.
Oh, I'm back rolling out the way I came.
Okay, so you back roll away as this wall comes crashing down and shatters into the floor. Dust billows up and eventually settles back, and you are left with the same back alleyway, with the barrels destroyed in front of you, and then this hole in the wall to your right.
Mm. What do I see if I peek in the surroundings of the hole in the wall?
The surroundings inside the hole in the wall, there is actually an item in that room. You'll have to go pick it up if you want to see what it is, but...
Why not? Let's go pick up the item.
Okay. Since we're going to make this fun and I don't want to... I didn't telegraph which item, go ahead and just roll me... Let's make it a D12.
Got it. All right, that is a 2.
That is a 2?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. So, you pick up the item, and it is a ridged shield, with a razor's edge around it. It's a small buckler, titled the Breaker. When your attack fails and you take damage from an enemy, you can choose to deal your damage anyway. If you do so, you take an additional 2 points of damage from the attack.
Wonderful. Interesting. That'll stay in my inventory, never to be used. Especially because I'm two-handing a rusted saw. All right. We've kind of scoped out the area. We kind of know more things that are around. All right, I'm running back towards that knight. You ready to try this knight again?
We can give it a go. Before you do, the walls of these back alleys are covered in an ancient graffiti, flaking red paint and crudely chiseled marks. You recognize the name of a long-dead deity, repeated regularly, along with the symbol that you saw next to the church. What is this deity's name, and what could be that significance?
All right. Their name is Pontius Corndogius.
Okay.
They are a deity of death and destruction.
Does the repetition have any significance to you, or does this come across as just the scrawlings of a madman?
It seems like in this area, after whatever happened to cause it to slip into decay, there was something that took root in the sadness, and now there's just a new power that people answer to, and it's kind of like just writing your new dark hero's name all over the place, swearing fealty to them.
Okay. Sounds good. So you return. You were backtracking all the way over to the knight, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Sounds good. Give me. Let's go. You know what? Actually, it wouldn't matter at this point, which is really kind of fun. If you go back towards the back alley, from the perspective of you leaving the back alley and rounding the house towards the covered walkway, there is a broken portion of the riverbed, or the bank that crumbles off, that appears to be a safe slide down back to where those dogs are at, which would get you right back to the church.
Wonderful. We're gonna run past the dogs this time, though. Sorry.
Okay. I think that's actually yes. That is actually fine. So you sprint past the dogs. You make it back to the collapsed chapel. Mads the Mercurial is resummoned in as this Black Knight. Or actually, that's for you to decide. This knight of some form we have not given lore to yet continues to march on upon the two of you.
All right, let's do this. Daddy needs some souls. Hey, that's a 6 and a 3, so the 3 is negated.
Okay.
So 2 damage.
2 damage.
All right, second attack. Oof. That's a 2 and a 3 on the second attack.
Okay. That is a Mads failed his first and took 2 damage, and then rolled a 3 and a 1 on the second, and took another 2 damage. But if you failed that one, you would be taking 2 and getting shunted back to our starting place.
Wonderful. That again. All right. How thinking back in my memory, I have not killed the bear yet, right?
You did kill the bear,
Okay,
because
so
we
killed...
got the notes
yeah.
about the sigils in the trees.
Yes, I remember. Okay. All right, so we're running on the same path. We start back at Gary's farmhouse. We are running to kill the 2 skeletons
Okay.
because we want to get the souls back. All right, and pitchfork is a 6 and a 5.
Okay. Pitchfork's
So that's
dead.
2 damage. Whack its pile of bones. And oof, that's a 3 and a 3 on the sickle. So I have to negate both of those.
You've got the replay for it. Go again.
All right, here we go. All right, 6 and a 5. There we go. 2 damage.
All right, 4 ticks to your soul.
All right, we're trying this again. Running back towards. You know what? We haven't tried it yet. The knight can kill me in 1 hit. So let's go back to that house where there was the weird fiery thing, and let's try to fight that.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Oh, am I coming in for this one?
No, I'll try myself first.
Okay.
All right, here we go. That's a 2 and a 3.
Okay. Sounds good. So, as you go in to take a strike, it recognizes the distance that you're trying to close, and much like the fantastic perfumers of Elden Ring, it spews out a wide arc of flame, and catching you alight in the process. You take 2 damage from that and are summarily burned to a crisp.
Wonderful. Dead again. This is where I misclicked and leveled my damage instead of my health. Would have been nice. Okay. All right, we're doing. Okay. So I know about the desecrated grove, and I need to light some kind of fire to bring that one back to life.
Right. So, the notes that I had provided on that were your flame alone. The 2 notes that you got was your flame alone is not strong enough to reignite this campfire, but additionally, your the sigils in the trees designate that these fires are lit in sequence, one from the other. This is where you will probably have to abstract your thinking back into a more RPG space than a Dice Souls space to fix that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going back with our plan of keeping four souls. So we're going to go back to the skeletons to kill them.
Okay.
All right. Oh my god, you kidding me? A 3 and a 2 on pitchfork. I gotta
Okay.
use the replays.
Okay. That's
All right.
still a success. Because I believe all that does... Actually, double failures would just negate the failures, so go ahead and give me another roll.
Yep. All right, a 5 and a 6.
Okay.
There we go. All right. Whack the pile of bones so it doesn't come back. Pitchfork, a 4 and a 4. So that's
Okay.
another 2 damage.
Perfect.
That's good.
Both skellies out.
Whack their piles of bones. All right. This is thinking with your brain. I'm gonna head back this time to the dogs. All right, we're gonna fight the dogs.
Okay.
All right, here we go. First dog. A 6 and a 6.
Okay. Dead.
First one. All right. First double sixes of the entire night. All right. Second dog. All right. That's a 4 and a 2.
4 and a 2. Okay.
Yes.
So you've fought him once, so you've got the 1 replay. You're actually good there.
Yep.
So dog is down for the count, which is 2 more ticks total. So you're up to 1 soul die.
Yes. 1 soul die.
So now you're rolling 3d6 until spent or dead.
Okay, and I need 2 soul die basically to level my health. Okay. So let me think. All right. Let's go back to the bear now. We're farming. That's what we're doing right now.
No, fair.
We're farming 100%. All right, I'm gonna fight the bear. You know, the warrior build does actually work decently with rolling 3 dice, because all I need to roll is 1 6 to negate my failures. I do not have another metal d6 though. Okay. All right, you ready, bear?
Get after it.
All right, here we go. All right. Well, that's a 5, and a 3. So
Okay.
I have the replays though. So
Yep,
2
you got
damage.
1 replay, so 2 damage.
All right, here we go again. Hey, 6. So negates my failures. So
Negates
2
1
damage.
failure.
It says failures, so I'm not sure. It is plural.
Alright, let me double check.
Also, there have been some updates to the game.
Right,
so.
I'm like, this is work in progress. Let me double check what I've got here. Yeah, so I have it listed as anytime you roll a 6, it counts as a critical success to negate a failure.
Okay. Yes, the core rules say that. The character sheet probably just doesn't need to have an S, so I'll just remove that from my character sheet. Okay, cool. So that is... Oh, I'm still fine, because it's a 6, a 5, and a 1.
Okay, so 1 failure down. So we're down to 2/3 of the health of the bear gone.
All right, here we go again, Mr. Bear. All right, that's a 5, a 4, and a 3.
Okay. Yeah, you've still got the replays for that. And the bear is out, which is 4 more notches on your soul track.
All right, now you know what we're doing, right?
Lighting the bonfire and doing it again.
We're going back to the bonfire, and we're spending our 2 soul dice to get another health.
Wait, did you snag 2 dice?
Yeah, because the bear is worth 4, and then the skeletons plus the dogs were worth 4.
The dogs are worth 2 total, so each one's worth 1.
Yeah, 2 total. So I'm 1 mark down, I think, because the skeletons altogether are 4, right?
Yep. So skeletons are 4, bears are 4. That'll put you at 8. So you're 6 plus 2, and then the dogs are 2. So you got 2 left to finish a soul track.
Ah, frick. Oh yeah, I counted the soul tracks wrong. Dang it. All right, yep. We're we're farming. So, yeah, we're going to just reset, not spend anything.
Okay.
And we are now going to fight the skeletons to get the remaining.
Okay.
All right. Pitchfork skeleton. Hey, that's a 5, a 2, and a 1.
Okay. 5 of 2. Yeah, you're still good for it. Skeleton's
Yeah,
dead.
the replays.
Mm-hmm.
Whack the pile of bones. All right, that's a 6, a 1, and a 3.
Okay.
So, what my 6 negates 1 failure. I should have a replay for the other and kill another skeleton.
You are correct. So you are now at 2 soul dice, and then a single, or yeah, 2 soul dice, and then 2 on your current soul track.
Wonderful. I need to make sure I know that for sure. All right, going back to the bonfire, spending the 2 soul dice.
Okay.
And I think I only get 1 more health, right?
Yes, it's 1 more notch.
Okay. Cool. Well, that'll help a little bit. Feel a little better now.
You've
All
been
right.
reduced back down to 2d6 for rolling.
Yep. Okay. Hmm. It's very interesting. Okay. All right. We're going back to the night.
Okay.
Time to fight the night, and we're gonna summon good old Mads.
Okay.
All right, boy. This is our run. We need the good RNG. We need the knight to not do the attack that we don't like.
Okay.
All right, here we go. First one's a 6 and a 3, so the 3 is negated.
And Mads is actually a 6 and a 4 for that.
Wonderful.
So we're good there.
All right, here we go. Second attack from me. Ah, a 2 and a 3.
Okay.
I only have, how many replays do I have on the knight?
So the knight has killed you twice, I
I
think.
think twice, yeah.
Yeah. So you'd have 2. I think you've already used 1, so you'd have 1 left.
I've used none replays.
Oh, you've used none. That's right, because
I used the warrior.
Yeah.
I used the warrior
right.
feature. Okay, but now I've used them. All right. Third
Okay.
attack. Here we go. You gotta do it. All right. Hell yeah. That's a 6 and a 5, so 2 damage again.
Okay. 2 damage again. Mads is using his thaumaturge class skill to take a damage instead of taking 2, so that he can take the success and deal 2 damage as well. At that point, we are between the 2 of us. That has put him past his resilience, and the knight goes down.
Woo! Finally.
The Mads the Mercurial gives you a very formal bow before vanishing from the space. And you've just gotten a full soul die from that, or 6 soul.
Wonderful. So I have 1 soul die and 2 pie.
Correct.
Because that's what I had left over.
Yep.
Why did I erase that? I should have just kept it. It's okay. All right. So night is failed.
Yep.
What next?
At the back of the chapel, a pair of large iron doors that match those at the front of the building vibrate gently in a steady rhythm, like a heartbeat. The doors themselves are carved with the scene of a depraved abomination. What does the frieze frame depicted show?
A depraved abomination?
A scene of, yeah. What is that scene? What
It's a
story is it
big,
telling?
Yeah, so it's kind of like a mural of a giant shadowy creature, and it's basically eating everything. Like it's swallowing all the crops, and it is metaphorically eating at the people as well.
Okay. Very, very good. Um, you have a couple things to potentially explore up to this point as well. You've got the spot in front of you. There is a watchtower. There is the bone-colored house um, and its little altar, and then the unlit campfire and the desiccated grove. But beyond that, the rest of everything has been explored. There's no further options beyond. Or, I mean, there's this door, but and then whatever is beyond it.
All right, let's open this door. What do
Okay,
we got?
so you open the door and step in to a shrine room. The shrine is a crumbling ruin piled high with artifacts of countless religions, both holy and profane. It has the feel of a dragon's hoard, but there is no glitter or sparkle, just rust, ruin, and abandonment. Um, Standing in the center of the space, uh, or rather, I will read it from its description. Ulfric, the Apostle, sits atop a befouled altar inside the shrine. Draped in burned vestments, his enormous blade gripped in a four-clawed fist, rippling with unholy power. His third eye bores deep into your heart. Kill him, or perish.
Wonderful.
And the door behind you shuts.
Of course it does. All
Okay.
right.
As a note to you, as well as a note to everybody watching who is unfamiliar with Dark Souls or Dice Souls, enemy encounters with bosses function a little bit differently. Or I actually describe the scene as how the boss is interacting and coming at Cole and his character, and your job is to concisely telegraph how to avoid these. If successful, um, you then have a better chance at negating failure for roll to evade, and then dealing damage is retaliation, as opposed to the other way around when I run normal enemies. So, that being said, you step into the room, the proverbial fog lifts over the door behind you, the boss's health counter goes up to the bottom of the screen, and let me grab his stats. Okay, so he comes towards you. Then Ulfric raises his sword high over his head with two bony hands. What do you do?
Raises the sword over his head. Well, I'm definitely going to sprint towards, just directly straight towards the boss. And as he goes to bring the sword down, I'm hopefully going to roll into him beyond the sword and then swipe after I roll.
Okay, so you roll forward. Let's see here. Where did my own notes go? I just had them. Let's see. Hold tight for just a moment. I lost my notes. Here we go. All right, go ahead and give me a roll for me.
All right, just my d6s. All right, great. All right, wonderful. That's going to be a 4, a 5, and a 2.
4, a 5, and a 2. And nothing able to be negated this time as you feel like you've got a valid plan in front of you, but as you roll forward, um, and try to close the distance underneath him, he does indeed take a downward strike, but it wasn't the strike you should have watched out for. It was the shockwave that emanated up from it as you get hit in the back by this, and 3 damage inflicted as you hit the ground dead.
Of course. This is very typical of figuring out what the heck a boss does first.
Yep. It is indeed. Alright, so you've returned back to campfire, 2 dice, and no souls.
No souls.
The boss gate has been opened. It's your call.
All right. For okay. Don't want to do any more grinding, especially for the sake of the lovely viewers. But we should do some more exploring, which is very typical of accidentally opening a boss area and being like, ouch. I'm going to run back through what I can, and head towards that watchtower that you mentioned.
Okay. So you move past the skull house, up to the watchtower. A high stone tower dominates the small clearing. A flag flutters atop it, and long dead bodies hang from the windows at the top. A heavy wooden door sits at the base. Figures at the top of the tower snarl and scream down at you, and their words are quickly followed by arrows. You look at the door in front of you is currently closed to the watchtower, and you can hear the draw of bows.
Yeah. Well, I do not have anything ranged, so I'm running to open the door as fast as I can and try to not get hit by arrows.
Okay, door is locked. What are you doing?
Frick. Well, running around to the back, hoping for a ladder or side, or running out of the way of the arrows, most importantly.
Fair enough. So you're just moving at this point to keep out of the way of the arrows.
Yes.
As you move around the space, there is a portion of the wall that is partially collapsed. Not enough to get through, but enough that it designates a weak point.
Yeah, well, I gotta smack it.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a roll.
All right. That's a 6 and a 4.
6 and a 4. Okay. So you take a heavy swing and manage to break through this wall as 2 arrows right to the base of the ground behind you. As you enter the tower, the sound of the bows go quiet, and you realize that you can hear, as echoing from above, more skeletal figures.
What do I see in the bottom, looking around?
Currently, the bottom is filled with barrels.
Well,
And
we
then there's
gotta
stairs up.
roll through and smash the barrels, of course.
Okay, you roll through and smash the barrels, and fall down a small set of stairs that leads to a room with a chest in it. It's unguarded.
I'm gonna swing and hit the chest first.
Classic Souls fashion. It is fine.
All right, wonderful. Let's throw open that bad boy.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, you receive from within that what is a shadow cloak. Cloak appears to be made from shadows given substance, which dark place does it touch the edges of, and why should a pathway, and or does this indicate something more foreboding by putting it on?
Great. How am I supposed to answer that? All right. Well, so we've been building the lore of this land, and for everyone watching, I do have an idea in my head that I've been trying to somewhat portray as areas are revealed, and we will probably in the end part of Top Shelf probably talk about what that was if it's not painted enough. But this cloak eats sadness.
Consumes it.
Yes,
Just
that's what I would say.
in a passive sense, or do you know?
I feel like right now, as a character playing through this world, I don't know specifically.
Let me ask a different question then. Do you put it on?
You know what? I know that based on it being made of shadow and things like that, it is nefarious. But I am going to put it on.
Okay. Now, as a follow-up to what I tried to describe but poorly as my last question, what does it feel like when you put it on?
It feels good at first, but it feels deceptively good. It is feeding on you, but it feels good at first because it's feeding on your sadness. But deep down inside, you probably know that long over time, this relationship might become more. What's the opposite of symbiotic? Parasitic.
Parasitic.
I believe, yeah. So right now it feels symbiotic, but deep inside, I feel it might not always be symbiotic.
A false sense of relief from the removals of your sadness, but leaving nothing necessarily in its place leaves you feeling strange.
Yes, wonderful.
So, mechanically, you are hard to see, and it makes it easier to surprise enemies. You deal your damage once at the start of combat before rolling any dice.
Wonderful. Love it. I'm so bad. Like, you can tell I have ADHD by how I write my notes. Like, my character sheet is not like in sequential like anything. It's like little boxes of stuff everywhere. Like, what am I doing? All right. Is there anything else in this room?
Not in here. This is the small basement room beneath the watchtower.
Okay. All right. So, point of order question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How much longer do you want me to keep exploring for this episode's sake?
So I'm going to ask, the only thing really left to explore is the watchtower itself. But I was actually going to ask a follow-up question once you chose to leave the watchtower, whether or not you want to finish exploring or step aside. So that's up to you, and then I will actually get to that. I was thinking about it.
Okay. I just really drank a ton of liquid, so I just have to pee real quick.
Okay.
So
well,
up to you how you want to manage that.
You know what? You put on a cool cloak. We've gotten a little bit more lore. I will give you a reprieve from your death and your need to use the bathroom, and we're going to take another 5. We will finish up after this and then have some conversations. But we'll talk to y'all shortly. Welcome back, everybody. This is the Top Shelf. We are playing Dice Souls, a game by Chris Bissett, directly inspired by the Soulsborne games, Elden Ring, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, all that jazz. And we have spent a good little bit just exploring the town, this crumbling village. Cole and or Raspberry is making his way through a watchtower on the edge of town, earlier getting murked by the boss at the end, Ulfric the Apostle. Cool. Raspberry, what are you up to?
All right, so we gotta clear this watchtower. So we are heading to the top and hoping to take care of whoever was shooting those pesky arrows, as well as see what else is up there. So
Okay.
staircase leading up, right?
Yep. So you wind your way up this watchtower to two skeletons with bows in their hands. And because of your Cloak of Shadows, uh, 2 damage is immediately dealt, clearing out one of them before you even need to make a decision on the second.
Wonderful. So just the two skeletons were shooting arrows.
Correct.
Well, slap the pile of bones on the one that I took out first, and then go to swing on the other.
Okay.
And that is a 5 and a 1.
Okay. So you take 1 damage from that um, as you strike the pile of bones and go to swing, but are interrupted by an arrow already fired.
Oh, now there's an arrow sticking out of my chest.
Yeah, they're not uncharacteristically long, though. It's a reasonably lengthed arrow.
All right. Do I still deal 2 damage or?
No. So any failure,
Okay.
just
Cool. That's a 6 and a 4.
very nice. Clean house on this skeleton as well, leaving you
All
to
right.
look over everything.
Yep. Slap its pile of bones so it doesn't get back up. And then what am I looking at the top of this watchtower?
Yeah. So from the top of the watchtower, you can see off into the distance for the first time beyond this church. And you watch where the ridge rises and shifts against the side of the church, knowing that that's really your only way through to any additional regions. But beyond this is the botanical gardens, and then there is some ruins that look like they lead further down below. But the church and its snarling apostle in the light of the that you can see through the ceiling stands waiting for you. There is also an item up here, and that item that you would be looking at is, let's see, the hollow crown. Now, my lore questions for you. The inside of the diadem is carved with a rhyme in an ancient language. What does it say, and how is it that you are able to read it?
Oh gosh. That is a question. I mean, how wild can I get here?
That was my question to you, and you're crafting the lore around this town, and we are about to the end of the lore questions that I can ask for this town. So whatever you need to do to finish puzzling up this space, or leaving whatever cliffhangers you like, that's on you.
All right. Well, this is the only thing I can think of off the top of my head. So the rhyme itself, and don't shame me, chat, is it says, "Summon the shadows of time by saying this rhyme."
Okay.
And how I recognize it and am able to read it is a relic from my warrior order that is used by other powerful warriors. So I recognize the phrase.
Okay. So based on that, then, are you yourself able to read the language, or do you just recognize via repetition, like you'd find on a quarter, the rhyme itself because it's that common?
Yeah, I'm not fluent. I just recognize the passage and its usage and how it's been applied to other items.
Okay.
Um, it is thought, whether it does or not, because you'll tell me what it does. It is thought that anyone that uses an item like this will be able to see glimpses of what has happened in an area in the past to help better understand it. That is the belief. Whether it really does it or not, who knows?
Applied to certain things, there is a level of premonition, for sure. Mechanically, as it attaches to this particular crown, when you roll a success that you don't need to use to negate a failure with, you can store it inside the item for later.
Nice.
Only one success can be stored at a time, however.
Wonderful. That is cool. I guess I put the crown on my head, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. It's not hollow anymore. Cause get it? My head is in
Your
it.
head fits inside of it.
All right, so I'm looking over the land. Is what you're telling me the the way forward and out of this place is through the church and through the boss, and that is the only way?
This area, that is correct. Everything around, and though you could possibly explore beyond this village, um, there is an aspect of the land before this church that remains almost wastes, so devoid and flat and barren of much of anything, um, that it looks like the edge of a property line almost. Um, like this is where the sidewalk ends and where people forgot about for whatever tragedy had happened here.
Wonderful. All right, well, I've looked at the land, I've met the boss, I've ran away from a lot of things. So, unless there's anything else you wanted me to explore, we were thinking of doing discussion, right? Or what do you think?
I think I'm good halting there for the time being. Um, Not to any fault of your efforts and advancements, but I think there is a level of the game that is almost. It feels like a game that's best tackled in short spurts, um, to keep the interest of the storytelling present. But also, I kind of noticed little ways into playing this that if the discussion of the area, each different chunk of space that you move through, like the Skull House, for example, is actually a good note to this. The Skull House describes the back of the. Oh, Luca, I'm sorry. You didn't miss much. He died like 45 times.
A lot of times.
It was a lot of times. It was good though. But there's an aspect of this that I feel like you can get a lot more involved and slow down the areas by having more conversations about lore, by doing a little bit more role play with, like searching room to room or breaking more boxes or, doing these things that we kind of didn't assume because we were riffing off of like directly making it Dark Souls. But it's it is different, being a one-on-one game where you don't interact with NPCs really because it's Dark Souls. But yeah, what did you think about your side of stuff? How did it feel on your edge?
Yeah, so of course, I think there's going to be updates to the game as well. And I know Chris was working on it for a while, and then they took a break, I think. And I think it was this is me vaguely remembering. I'm not sure if it's true, so don't quote me on it. But I think the announcement of the D&D 5e Dark Souls, um, I thought I saw a tweet from Chris being like, I really need to release this now. And I'm very glad that it's out, and Chris is continuing to work on it. Um, the one thing, I went to the itch and I got the character sheet, and since I started there because I wanted to start with the character sheet, I only had the warrior and the priest class. So if I would have started with reading what you sent me first, the full thing,
Fair.
reading the full thing, I probably would have picked the other class that is
The
the
thaumaturge? Oh,
scoundrel.
the scoundrel. Yeah.
Yeah, the scoundrel I feel like has a really good ability for your first playthrough. And it's that surprise narrative where you deal your damage without rolling any dice first, and that would help you get through early areas pretty quickly. But I mean, I love the game. I will say if anyone is looking to play the game, or watching this before you play it, my big piece of advice would be learn how to level up ahead of time and make sure you plan your build, which is, I mean, like, very typical of a Souls game. Like, you either go in and you just do stuff willy-nilly and you find out it works or it doesn't work. Like, I started Elden Ring and I just went full into dexterity and bleed, which I didn't know that it was super duper strong, but it ended up being super duper strong. But I still had a plan. How I fucked up here is I didn't know what I was doing when I was leveling, so I was like, "Oh, I'll up my damage," and then I was like, "Shit, should have upped my health."
Yeah.
So
One of the interesting things that I noticed, like if you add that to it, I think it really does in a really cool way because I didn't know it could be translated that well. I think it covers every narrative beat that Dark Souls provides. And the flavor of the game really comes down to having more of a conversation between the guide, like myself, and then the player, and building the lore and the visuals and everything, and kind of like almost like coloring over a Dark Souls game of your own to build whatever story you evolve as you go. And Chris is creating 6 regions for this, which are super easy to follow as a DM. Being able to connect all the pieces and create a little map, like I did everything on sticky notes. And surprisingly, it was really easy to follow, to get back to and be like, oh yeah, this piece is here, you got to go through that again because all these enemies are still present. Which was really nice because I think I was worried about, with my own ADHD, being like, I'm not going to remember what I have to reset after this. But it's pretty goddamn intuitive, and I really appreciate that on both ends of it. I do think, because it has conversation about, like, have conversation about the lore questions. Like, you are welcome to ask me on things, and I can ask you on things to follow up, and then we just kind of turn it into more chatter than just answering a question, which gives it a little bit more opportunity to feel more fleshed out. It's also worth noting, I guess, behind the screen for this, the items that were all present are not listed at all on any of the stuff in the actual regions. There is an item list in the core game that the GM can use at their discretion for things, but it is something that I think the guide is put in a good place to say, I want you to get through this, but I want it to be hard, so let the player be punished based on the failed rolls and make it feel dangerous. But don't forget to put cool shit into it, otherwise it starts to feel empty. Because one of the cool things about Dark Souls is finding a shitload of neat little items that may or may not be helpful to you.
yeah, I mean, and as always, you did a great job of doing things on the fly and preparing or not preparing whatever ahead of time to fit in I always tell people I have no idea how you do it. A new game every other week. Um, for for the type of player that I am, I have a really hard time just reading through rules. I have to like learn as I play. So if you're a person who's really good at reading through all the rules before you play a game, I think the really simple rules are so straightforward and you can pick it up so easily. And this is also the first game I've ever played that's just a one-on-one game. So that was kind of interesting to get used to. But yeah, like you said, it's really cool how much it gives you the like power to create your own world and flesh it out together. And yeah, you're basically playing your own Souls game while also making your own Souls game, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's
Um,
really neat. I'm curious because you've never played one-on-one games, and honestly, neither have I up to this point. Um, I like playing games with one person because I feel like there's a like kind of intimate space that you get to make it whatever you end up making it, whether that be a card game or what have you. There's I feel like a lot of side conversation in one-on-one games that is a little bit more appropriate than a big group game where things can get off track if you're chatting.
mhm.
Um, what was your like? Is this format of game something that you would go back to if this is the first
Yes.
time you played?
So I mean, we're on a stream, on a channel with like over a thousand followers, and I know this is gonna be on YouTube and things like that. So how we play games is different most often than like how you would play a game at home or vice versa. So it was kind of hard for me at first because I'm in that mindset of this is a streamed actual play. Like I'm making sure I'm doing a good job, being entertaining, things like that. But this, like the whole time, I was just thinking like you could pick up this game and like in 10 minutes, like you and a friend could be, just hanging out in a room playing a Souls game and making a world together. And I think that's really awesome. And I would definitely recommend it for anyone. People who are better at improv and like actors and things like that, like would have absolutely killed it like for an actual play. Um, but yeah, I it's really cool how easy it is to pick up and just build together, and definitely makes me want to play more one-on-one games. So
I'm it. This is just because this is the first time I've played it. I've read through it a few times, but I am more energized now to finish the thing that I was working on for it because I want. The rules are so crisp to create that visual. Um, I have a lot of ideas to expand kind of the additional concepts that Elden Ring puts into stuff and create
mm,
new regions for it that are based on like here, let's add this NPC and then take, ask the player questions on the lore of that NPC and then based on that lore, provide a task that may come up later in the game that almost keeps driving things forward. These I feel like Elden Ring benefits from those abstract NPC conversations as well as this would be really neat to build as like a hex crawl where the
mm,
overworld map lets you actually change regions and those regions may not have a big dungeon in them. They may have something smaller or like a mini boss or something that you need to avoid, but um, give you a little bit more freedom to do more roaming instead of kind of getting locked into these 9 or 10 pieces like the original Dark Souls did, that you kind of have to go grind in a loop for.
yeah, no, that is insane to think about. Like all the potential for what you could make with this game is so huge. And quoting like directly from the rules, Chris says anyone may publish free or commercial material based upon and/or declaring compatibility with Dice Souls without express written permission. And legal stuff. I do have to shout out. This license does not extend to Nazis, transphobes, or bigots of any kind. or to anybody who intends to produce or has been involved in the production or sale of NFTs. So that right there is so beautiful because it's open license. You could, like you said, make so many things for this game. And honestly, just you mentioning a hex crawl and like in the vein of Elden Ring, like if you went ahead of time and you made an entire hex map and you placed certain things in different hexes, and then if you used, I don't know, something in person where you could reveal each hex as they walked through them, it would be so easy with this game and it would be so cool. But you could do it in person or you could do it on a tabletop, virtual tabletop as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, this.
That's another neat note too. Is with this being as I guess intimate of an experience because it is one on one. I was interested to know how it would translate to stream. Like I like stuff that doesn't use combat maps for tabletop RPGs. So I'm gonna do that.
Mhm.
I'm gonna play a skirmish game or a war game. Um, so I do almost everything theater of the mind, and this really caters well to theater of the mind on the beneficial side of the player, not even the beneficial side of the DM, because the player should be, for the most part, narrating everything that goes on, save for certain things like the initial interactions with a room and what you're looking at or in an area, and then the descriptions of the monsters or creatures that show up. And then there's things like we didn't do it much, but I would have liked to see it. I'm forgetful about stuff. Is I'm not supposed to give the name of any of the monsters. I just give the description, and then
Yeah.
that reference name gets tossed in the trash and is kind of just used for me to check out, the stats for things. But that name is then given by the player, and then you use that to speed up the initial description, which, like, we still did. The bear just got called a bear every time we passed by it. But it's like you give this neat description and you give a lot of detail right at the beginning, and then you start, you know, hammering into it. And the more times you go through this loop or the more times you grind, you kind of shorten up and make more concise your experience. And now you're just grabbing souls and things until you get to the next new thing, which can be described in more detail. So it's fun how it's catered to the fact that you're going to have to play through things 14 times. So let's make sure that each one of those doesn't start to feel repetitive or like a slog. Which even that is just a testament to good writing. It's a very, very good game, and I'm so excited to see it all finished. But if you have not seen it yet, you got to go grab it. It's on itch currently, and I'm pulling it up now so that I can actually put the link in the chat.
I
you
got
got
you. I still have it up.
Hell yeah. Yeah, go ahead and toss that in
So
the chat because it's worth having.
yeah, I did read the thing where like every enemy you kill you get to name and things like that, and like telling the story as the player is really cool once you get in the habit of it. So I told everyone in chat I would kind of give what I was going for lore wise. So my idea, and of course it since it's collaborative, it would have expanded, and who knows how it would have worked out playing further. But I'm really terrible at lore. But from what I remember, Dark Souls 3, basically the whole story is like all the fires are burning out, and your job is to light all the fires, back in the world. Elden Ring is like all the gods are being messed up, and the Elden Lord is like not a thing right now. The rings are shattered or whatever. So once again, like something in the world is broken, and you're putting it back together. So as I was describing the lore, my idea, at least for what area we were in, and maybe the greater land, was people came in, and they got greedy, and they caused a lot of sadness and like despair and like really depression in the world. And there is an entity that exists, that when that gets to a high enough level, the entity is like summoned and starts feeding on it. So it started coming through the land and like killing all the crops and like feeding on the people and eating all of the sadness and depression. And since it went unchecked, it just ended up eating the people, and all that was left were these manifestations of sadness. So that was my idea.
I like that. It's almost got an eldritch, like, Bloodborne connection to it in some regard, too. Um, which is nice. I love Bloodborne. Just in visuals. I hate playing it because it frustrates the fuck out of me, but, like, Elden Ring's top-notch for a lot of the things that it fixed, despite my little beefs, but... yeah, I can't stress, if you like any of the Souls games, or if you want to try something one-on-one that gives you easy opportunity to tell a new story every time you play it,
Mhm.
you know, or, you know, change what you're trying to establish in a world that is really the only guidance you have is that it is objectively bleak and you're stuck doing this over and over again. Um, it's super fun, and I can imagine it's super, super fun to play with somebody you're really close to, like at home or with a friend, or as Luca mentioned, like on a road trip, um, where it doesn't take a whole lot of effort to put together, and it doesn't take a whole lot of effort to play. So the focus that you guys get to have on it is um, the storytelling of it, and the loops and laps and different ways to attempt things kind of comes secondarily to um, you know, this ability to tell a grander tale over the course of all of the regions that you pass through, which is really neat. Um, but any final thoughts from you, Cole, or anything from the chat that you have questions on or thoughts
Yeah.
on?
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, definitely let us know. We didn't show the full you know, full everything of the game. What I'll say, things you didn't see, is there is a really good level system. There's of course items, and it really, really just feels like a Souls game. As I mentioned, the difference between like actual play and just playing casually at home. For an actual play, if we start dying over and over and over too much, then we kind of cut corners to carry on the narrative.
Yeah.
But at home, you would just be like going back at it, doing it, and like approaching things the different ways and stuff was really cool. Um, Dark Souls fan versus non-Dark Souls fan, I feel like both people will really enjoy the game, as long as you like the elements of it. There's benefits to me being a Souls player going into the game, and I feel like you could see that in how I played it. But then there's also downsides on like things that I wouldn't have done because I have Souls knowledge, and someone going into it fresh might have, you know,
Tried.
approached things in a better way, or you know, done things in a different way. So I think it works for both types of players, people who like Dark Souls, people who don't. But it has everything. It has leveling, it has items, it has classes, it has telegraphing, traps, enemies. So yeah, it's really cool. um what was I gonna say? I think my favorite is just like the telegraphing, and then how boss fights are different. And I would say it does have a class where if you want a little bit easier of a time, you would start that class. And I would say that's the scoundrel. But everyone's playstyle is different, so you never know.
Yeah.
But
Get your
if I play again, I'm playing the scoundrel.
yeah. Get your guide, or run the guide. Be the guide as somebody who gives your player a starting piece of equipment. I feel like there's just like an additional ability um, could be fun there. But
Yeah.
the other thing, introduce spirit summons. They're not in the game, but that is a way fun time to be able to bring in uh, like the guide, just to tinker around with the rules as well, and also be an aid to the player. Like keep them a couple levels back, and then um, you know, play with them additionally, and you kind of get this pseudo experience of also being involved, which is fun, but leaving everything up to the guide of the player, so you're still not overstepping. I enjoyed that because then I got to actually play a little bit of both sides. But
Yeah, no, it's really cool and a new thing that Elden Ring has provided us. So you're gonna make the official Dice Souls Spirit Summons expansion, right?
I am. It is well. So the what I want to create, and I have it all mapped out, is going to be, and I'm saying this out loud, and it's going to obligate me to make it. But I am currently working on what is being tentatively titled the Immortal Chain, um, which is the Elden Ring region DLC, I guess. It's all based on the same rules, but I want to have new regions, and then those regions are all going to be connected via like a hex map that I want to add like NPCs and summons to allow some fun there if you want to, and then like randomized like basically catacomb dungeons to help aid with like the speed of grinding, um, which I've been thinking about since I read it originally, to just kind of build up a little bit more of the option present. But if you want something straightforward and dark and small and objectively, it's written by Chris. Chris is fantastic. Go buy his stuff first, and then if I ever end up releasing that, get the additional stuff. But Chris has created something truly special here by being able to replicate Dark Souls in a tabletop game and not using 5e as a weird springboard that didn't work. Um, and you know what? We're calling it there because I'm going to get on a soapbox about how upset I am that they chose to use 5e for that.
All I'll say on that is just go to the Dark Souls TTRPG subreddit and go read the sticky thread of issues with that book. Read all of the issues and how insane they are, and then go buy Dice Souls.
Yep.
That's my official stance on it.
There we go. I'll agree to that so I don't have to say anything else. But yes, go buy Dice Souls. It's super good. And, final note. If you like Dark Souls related stuff, the next coolest thing that's coming out in relation to that tabletop wise is Rune by Spencer Campbell. It is currently playtesting. Go check out his Twitter at Gila RPGs. You are welcome to take that playtest material if you would like and fill out a feedback form on it. But that one is a solo role-playing game built after the Dark Souls functionality, or Elden Ring functionality, rather. And if you want to just play something by yourself, that one's shaping up to be super fucking neat. And I probably won't ever run solo stuff on here because that makes it even more awkward on me. So you got to take my word on that one. Go try it out. Go help him playtest it. Go buy Dark Souls or Dice Souls because it's already good. And we will talk to you in the next episode where we play Kismet by Caesar Capaco. I'm going to butcher that name, but like it's spectacular, and you got to stick around to see that one too because it's going to be good. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks. I have been Mads, your host. You can find me on Twitter at JKMadigan, as well as in the TPK Discord. Keep an eye on the TPK roleplay calendar as a whole, because we're always doing cool stuff, not just me, but everybody else on TPK. Cole, do you want to send us off, give us your outro, and then we'll get out of here?
Yeah, thanks everybody for watching. This was a great experience to play a one-on-one game for the first time. So thanks, Mads, as well. If you enjoy any of the things I do, you can find me everywhere at Kohlrabi. And I am currently playing Elden Ring on Twitch every Tuesday and Friday night now. So I swing a sword better than I roll dice, I promise.
He does genuinely do that. If you watch his TikToks, he did so in a mirror, which was wild.
Yes.
Beat one of the Everjails by playing the game through a mirror, which is bizarre.
It is harder than it sounds to play a game in a mirror, so if I can think of another crazy challenge, I'll do another one.
Sounds good. Well, keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on this, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks for hanging out. Stay maidenless.